Where is God? Dear teacher, when I first came here, I felt that God was very near, at every moment, and that I would be with Him. But as time passed, that feeling seemed to vanish. He no longer appeared all around. It became hard to perceive Him. Why is that so? Please say a few words on this matter. Vedant Bharti, you must be carrying some image of God in your mind. That is why you miss Him. And until you discard that image, you will continue to miss Him. God is under no obligation to fulfill your idea of Him. You likely have an idea that God looks like this, behaves like that. That is why it becomes unattainable. You are making it impossible. God can only be known by those who are capable of discarding all preconceived notions of Him. Any idea you have accumulated in your ignorance serves only as an obstacle. Abandon every idea about God, and you will be amazed. You will be overwhelmed, and you will no longer be able to trust your eyes, for God alone exists. Then you will never ask, "Where is God?" Instead, you will ask, "Is there any place where God does not exist?" Then, in the very ordinariness of all things, you will see something extraordinarily remarkable. An ordinary pebble can be transformed into a diamond. Ordinary humanity ceases to be ordinary. Suddenly, there is a brilliance in everyone's heart. In that way, human beings come closer to the sacred, and the sacred comes closer to humanity. Man and the sacred merge, and the world and God merge. You will no longer seek God as some distant being high up in the seventh heaven. Instead, He lives right next door. He is not merely a person. He is animal, plant, mineral. He is everything. And when you can see that He surrounds you, not as a person, but simply as a presence, then your quest will come to fruition. God does not hide from you. Rather, you close your eyes because your mind is burdened with countless prejudices. Someone might have a Hindu idea of God, another a Christian idea, and yet another a Muslim idea of God. But God is not a Muslim God, nor a Christian or Hindu God. Thus, those who cling to these ideas will gropingly remain in darkness, moving from one darkness to another, from death to death. They will never know the light. A Hindu cannot truly know God, nor can a Muslim. First, you must cleanse your mind entirely of all Hindu, Muslim, and Buddhist notions. When you are completely free of thought, only awake, aware, and observant, then God will burst forth and He will manifest everywhere. Vedant Bharti, you say, when I came here, I felt that God was very near. That is merely your imagination. At every moment, I will be with Him. That is your wish. But as time passed, it seemed impossible. Because no imagination has ever become reality. None of your dreams can be fulfilled. Reality must be discovered. It is not a matter of mere imagination. Now you say, He is not all around. He is hard to see. Yet, He is indeed everywhere. He is hard to see because your eyes are weighed down with your own prejudices, concepts, and mental frameworks. Become a little more like a child, more innocent. God only comes when the heart is pure and childlike. God appears only when you are completely empty of ideas. He is always ready to come. He is standing at the door, but you cannot hear Him because your mind is so full of chaos, so many thoughts clamoring around that you cannot hear the knocking of silence. Be silent, be innocent. God exists. God alone exists. Dear teacher, I feel that I am very special. So special, in fact, that I long to be just ordinary. Could you please say a few words about this? Anand Sangeeto, everyone here thinks exactly the same, and not only here, but everywhere else too. Deep in their hearts, people all know that they are special. This is the divine joke played on everyone. When God creates a new person and sets that person down on earth, He whispers into that person's ear, "You are special. You are incomparable. You are unique." Yet, He does this for everyone, And everyone carries that message deep within their heart, even though not everyone proclaims it aloud as you are doing, because they fear that others might feel uncomfortable. And no one will be convinced by such words, so what's the point of saying them? If you tell someone, "I am special," you cannot persuade that person because deep down they already know they are special. How can you possibly persuade anyone? Sure, sometimes someone might be persuaded, at least pretend to be persuaded. For instance, if someone has business with you, like accepting a bribe, that person might say, "Yes, you are truly special, you are magnificent." But deep down, that person knows that business is still just business. A playboy once told you about his 3 cars and went on and on. He also mentioned that he keeps 2 cars at his mistress's houses in New York, and then boasted that he had made his personal secretary, stunning and wildly passionate, so irresistible that he had to bring her along on a business trip to Rio de Janeiro to attend a masquerade ball. The listener suddenly started gasping, clutched his wallet, and suffered a heart attack. The playboy then stopped his story, got a drink, patted the victim on the back, and anxiously asked, "Can I help you?" The listener, exasperated, replied, "I'm allergic to nonsense." It is far better to keep such nonsense deep within yourself, because everyone is allergic to it. Yet in a way, it is also good that you have exposed your inner mind. If you think you are so special, you will inevitably create suffering for yourself. If you believe you are superior to others, smarter than others, then you will develop a very strong ego. And the ego is poison, a pure poison. The more ego you accumulate, the more it wounds you, for it is like an open wound. The more egoistic you become, the less you can bridge yourself to life. You become isolated from life. You are no longer in the flow of existence. You become a rock in the river. You turn as cold as ice, devoid of all warmth and love. A person who believes they are special cannot truly love, for where would you find another special person? I once heard of a man who never married in his entire life, and when he was about to die at the age of 90, someone asked him, "You've never married, yet you've never explained why. Now that you're nearing death, at least satisfy our curiosity. If you have a secret, you can speak it now, since you're about to pass away, and even if everyone learns your secret, it won't harm you." He replied, "Yes, there is a secret. It's not that I am opposed to marriage, but I have been searching for the perfect woman. I searched, and my whole life slipped away." The questioner asked again, "But on this vast earth, with millions of people, half of them women, surely you could have found a perfect woman." Tears streamed down the dying man's face as he said, "Yes, I found one." The questioner was utterly shocked and asked, "Then what happened? Why did you not marry her?" The old man answered, "Because that woman is in search of the perfect husband." Your life will be very difficult if you live with such ideas. And yet, the sly, cunning ego might offer you, Sangito, a new project. I'm so special. Why not just be ordinary? But deep within, you will come to realize that you are the most extraordinarily ordinary person there is. No one is more ordinary than you. It remains the same old game, merely disguised. That is what your so-called humility continuously does. People say, "I am the most humble person, I'm nothing more than dust at your feet," but they don't really mean it. Don't say, "Yes, I know you are like that," because if you do, they will never forgive you. They are waiting for you to say, "You are the most humble person I have ever met. You are the most virtuous I have ever known." Then they will feel satisfied. That is the ego hidden behind humility. You cannot simply discard your ego in this way. Now you ask, "I feel that I am very special, so special that I wish only to be ordinary." Could you please say a few words about this? No one is truly special, or rather, everyone is special. No one is ordinary, or rather, everyone is ordinary. Whatever you think of yourself, think the same about everyone else, and the problem will resolve itself. You have a choice. If you choose to use the word special, you may think you are special, but then everyone is special. Not only people, but trees, birds, animals, even rocks. Every particle of existence is special, for you originate from that existence and will dissolve back into it. But if you prefer the word ordinary, a word that is more relaxed, more unassuming, then know that everyone is ordinary. In that case, the entirety of existence is ordinary. One thing to remember, whatever you think of yourself, think the same of others, and the ego will vanish. The ego is an illusion created by thinking of yourself in one way and others in another. It is a double standard. If you discard that double standard, the ego will wither away on its own.